The year is 1991. Director James Cameron releases the second installment in the Terminator franchise, a movie that has been in the works for 7 years. This film will give us amazing action scenes, some of the best stunt work, and practical effects that will still hold strong in today's cinema. Arnold Schwarzenegger will return to play the lead as the T-800, a Terminator which is an advanced cyborg. Also returning is Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, the mother of the future leader of the Resistance, John Connor. Playing a young John Connor is Edward Furlong. An interesting fact, Terminator 2 Judgment Day was his first official film credit. More amazing acting will come from Robert Patrick, who is the T-1000 Terminator, a more advanced cyborg made out of liquid metal. The year is 2029 and the world is in ruins after a nuclear bombardment that was initiated by the sentient AI nicknamed Skynet. Those who survived the fallout created a resistance aimed to take down the machine. In order to destroy John Connor, who is the leader of the resistance, Skynet has devised a plan to send back in time the T-1000, an advanced Terminator prototype. The goal is for the Terminator to terminate John Connor as a child to prevent his involvement in the future. Future John Connor is no pushover, so he also sends back in time a Terminator, the T-800, with the objective to protect young John Connor at all costs. With the help of time displacement equipment, both Terminators are sent back to Los Angeles 1995. The audience is introduced to the T-800. It spawns near a biker bar where it acquires clothes, sunglasses, and the signature motorcycle for this film. And if you're curious, the motorcycle is a 1990 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Next, the T-1000 appears under a bridge where it overpowers and takes the place of a police officer. Personally, this is one of my favorite introductions to a character. The next character introduction that comes next is that of young John Connor. We find him working on his dirt bike, listening to heavy metal, and ignoring his guardians. He is a rebel that will do things his way. But don't be mistaken, he is intelligent, understanding technology, and the demeanor of people. The final key character in the lineup is Sarah Connor, who has transformed into a more militant individual, always working to stay prepared for when the Terminator strikes. Currently, she's been admitted to the Pescadero State Hospital, which in real life is a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center in Southern California. She is under the supervision of Dr. Silberman, a man appointed to her case, who is standing between her and her freedom. The hunt for John Connor is on. Both Terminators are looking all throughout Los Angeles. The T-1000 utilizes his ability as a police officer to get a starting point. First checking out the home of his guardians. Next using a stock photo to do more of a rogue search around the neighborhood. Only getting warmer when a couple of what I'm guessing are classmates point him to the gallery. The T-800 gets surprisingly close at times, working on more of a systematic approach, but nonetheless figures out where to find John. Everything will change in the arcade. The music changes. The camera begins to focus on John as Robert Patrick zeroes in. A chase begins, resulting in both Terminators meeting up for the first time. The scene slows down as Arnold pulls out a Winchester Model 1887 shotgun from a box of roses. He fires and hits his mark, revealing the ability of regeneration of the T-1000. Walls break, more rounds are fired. John escapes on his dirt bike, but on hot pursuit, in a Freightliner, is a Terminator. The following sequence is just so well organized. The first time watching a huge vehicle blast through the guardrails into the drainage ditch was insane. The camera work combined with the acting of Edward Furlong highlights the fear John Connor was feeling being chased by a maniac. And when it looked like it was going to be a wrap, in comes Arnold guns blazing, calculating everything so proficient, very robotic in nature. In 5 minutes, the actors, stunt coordinators, cameramen, director raised the bar in every way possible. And I have to give out a big Not-A-Critic shout out to them. Hello everyone, this is Not-A-Critic. I want to give out some love to everybody helping out this channel. I'm going to give out a digital download code for this film. First come, first served. But don't get discouraged, more in the future. Now, let's get back into it. As much as Sarah Connor wants to be there for her son, she is currently facing a different battle all on her own. The state of California admitted her to a psychiatric facility until proven fit to return to the general population. She constantly is warning everybody of Judgment Day, the event where Skynet will go online and cause the death of billions of people. Her pleas are shrugged off as ramblings of a crazy person, so she is subjected to forced medication, beatings, and having her freedom constantly denied. Everything changes when a couple of detectives show her surveillance photos of one of the Terminator. At that moment, Sarah becomes desperate to escape in order to protect the person she cares for. With the help of a paperclip and some patience, she breaks out of her cell, subdues her guards, and proceeds to hold the doctor hostage to make it through the final section. Unbeknownst to her, the T-1000 has been working his way towards her, morphing, sneaking around, and planning his steps with accuracy. Rounding a corner, everything will change. Fear fills Sarah's eye. She screams, turns, and runs. She gets tackled by the guards midway down a hall. It's the T-800 loading up his weapon, moving with confidence towards her direction with her son John. At the opposite end, the T-1000 approaches. His focus is on terminating and completing his objective. What follows is another clash between two killer machines. It is a well-choreographed fight sequence with lots of gunfire and many casualties. It is during this part that Linda Hamilton suffered hearing damage while in the elevator because of not having her earplugs in, while Arnold fired blanks with his gun, which are extremely loud. After many tense moments, all three escape the T-1000, but just barely. Now, it's time to recover and plan what to do next. It is revealed that the person that is responsible for the development of the network that will eventually become Skynet is Miles Dyson. He is portrayed by actor Joe Morton, and intervention is the only option. Guns and ammo are at the ready, and like the calm before the storm, everything settles down. There is a moment of laughter and appreciation. But like a coiled snake, the moment of strike comes in a flash and with vicious intent. Now fast forward to Sarah Connor, looking down a scope and red dot on her target. She misses, but there is no mercy, and like the Terminator, she now has an objective. Moments before she ends Dyson, John and the T-800 intervene. They all explain to Miles his role in Judgment Day. He takes it all in. He is in shock of what is to come. What happens next is the final stretch of the film. It's determined that all the tech and research needs to be destroyed, preventing anyone else from continuing Miles' work. The importance of this mission is high, and it would be during this moment where all opposing elements would be against John, Sarah, and the T-800. Vast amounts of police with all their resources, and also the T-1000 are there to stop them. The plan begins to crumble, resulting in Miles being shot. At this point, Miles Dyson will sacrifice himself as he holds the switch that will blow the floor containing all his research. A huge milestone has occurred, but there is still one more challenge remaining. The fate of the future is still at risk. The T-1000 is still set to terminate John and everyone who stands in its way. It hijacks a police helicopter and begins to chase everyone, which are now taking refuge in a SWAT truck. Tactical driving from Arnold will result in the demise of the helicopter. Next, Patrick hijacks a semi as Arnold and everyone else swaps into a smaller truck, resulting in a secondary heated pursuit. At this moment, I want to point out another amazing stunt, as the T-800 flawlessly goes from the driver's seat to the windshield of the semi, blasting the T-1000 and flipping the truck. Both Terminators put up a hell of a fight, bringing everything to the table. The fight will eventually end, resulting in the destruction of the T-1000 Terminator. The film ends with a unique approach, as we the audience get a warm farewell to Arnold from John. He knows that it cannot remain in this timeline, and as it is lowered into the molten metal, a series of emotions might be felt. In the end, nothing is guaranteed, but we know it's worth doing. Thank you everyone for watching. A big shout out to my subscribers and everyone that is interested in what I do. Keep it awesome. Mad love.